With roughly a month away from the 2024 NFL Draft, this should be a celebratory period for Arizona Cardinal fans. We should be at ease, putting our feet up, leaving the NFL Combine as we did earlier this month. We were all but assured top 3 picks in this draft, whether New England, Commanders, Bears, whatever, whoever's making those picks, they're going quarterback, which means a certain Hall of Fame level prospect out of Columbus, Ohio, was going to be there for the taking. The Cardinals version of Larry Fitzgerald 2.0 in Marvin Harrison Jr. was gifted to Monty Ossenfort at pick 4. So what the hell happened? I'm Johnny Venerable, and this is PHNX Cardinals Johnny on the Spot. So let me just start with this disclaimer, okay? I can be objective. Marvin Harrison Jr. could still become an Arizona Cardinal. There is a path to that, but don't lie to yourself. Read the tea leaves right now. If the Cardinals make a move to trade down, like many have suggested, then I think that opportunity to draft MHJ or Malik Neighbors goes out the window. The Chargers, Jim Harbaugh, touting up JJ McCarthy. You don't think for a second he's going to make the most of pick 5, the Giants at pick 6? You trade down, especially with the Minnesota Vikings, and we'll get to them. You can say goodbye to Marvin Harrison Jr. And it's disappointing, but I understand Ossenfort's mindset. He wants as many swings at the plate that he can. He knows Kyler Murray making $50 million, flesh out this roster, cheap young assets, cheap young talent, right? We've said from the beginning on PHNX Cardinals, building through the draft was their priority and not building through skill players, right? Marvin Harrison Jr., that's the exception to the rule. But right now, and this cannot be disputed, there has never been a more valuable 4th overall pick in the history of the draft. When you have teams clamoring to trade up for you, when you are going to be able to leverage 4, maybe 5 picks, including 3 first-rounders for the 4th overall pick, it's uncharted waters. And I respect Monty Ossenfort. He's doing his due diligence. But man, it really does feel like the Cardinals are, a phone call or 2 away, especially before the draft, from making a deal. In particular with the Minnesota Vikings. How dare you, Minnesota Vikings, ruin our plans of the MHJ coronation here in the desert? You trade up from the 2nd round. You do that on purpose, right? You don't secure pick 23 and also in lieu of pick 11 if you don't have a deal already in the works with somebody. They're not trading with the Chargers. That leaves them vulnerable. The Giants could jump them to pick 4. That move was designed as a sweetener of seriousness for Monty Ossenfort to consider. Hey, Monty, we have 2 first-rounders in a blue-chip rich draft. You might want to trade with us. And guess what? I'm thinking they're going to. And it's disappointing. It's disappointing because, put Marvin Harrison Jr. aside, Malik Neighbors, Rome Odunze, Joe Alt, Dallas Turner, most of those guys, if not all of them, the blue chips of the blue chips are going to be gone by pick 11. Are you really in a position, if you're Ossenfort, to water down this pick even further? You've endured a 4-win season. This fan base has won 8 games in 2 years, and the ultimate consolation prize is waiting for you in the form of a 6'4", 230-pound specimen that's going to reignite State Farm Stadium. And you're going to pass on that. Well, here's what it does. It puts immense pressure on Ossenfort to hit on these picks, right? It's one thing to have pick 11, pick 30, 23, pick 27, pick 30. You got to hit on them. These guys got to become impact playmakers. Not in 2025, not in 2027. This fall at State Farm Stadium, you ought to be able to see Byron Murphy II, Jerzon Newton, Xavier Worthy, or Ladd McConkey. These guys better be making plays to help you win games, because you're going to be able to look across the pond, potentially in the AFC, and watch Marvin Harrison Jr. put up 1,200, 1,300 yards with Justin Herbert on a team that a lot of people think are going to rebound in the Los Angeles Chargers. Monty Ossenfort, we know he can wheel and deal. Do you have thick skin? Because last year, he was the belle of the ball post-draft during the season. Cardinal fans love the mindset, build for the future. The future is now. Marvin Harrison Jr., if he's not it, then who is? What are you going to do? That's the million-dollar question. I would not make the deal. I would take my 3 first-round picks back to Minnesota. I'd tell him to shove it. I'm going to take my generational wide receiver. Ossenfort doesn't think like that. I wish him well. It's a dicey proposition, to say the least.